Hello everyone, this is Damien with Pixnub. In this video I'm going to be discussing our lightning brushes along with the layer styles that come with the lightning brushes. I'll be showing how to use those as well as giving some tips and tricks. And these are pretty easy to use, but I do suggest watching the whole video because there are some tips that you may not be aware of. So the first thing is you'll need to install both the lightning brushes and the layer styles. So to do that you would go to the window drop down in Photoshop and select the brushes window and the styles window. Then from within the panels for the brushes you'll select import brushes, and then you'll just select the file and hit load. And the same thing with the styles, import styles, and then load that file. You could also unzip the folder from the download and double click, and those should launch Photoshop and install them as well. So that's the other way. Now with the styles, it may default to thumbnail view, and the thumbnails are not very descriptive, or at least they don't give a good visual representation of the layer styles. Photoshop doesn't do a good job rendering layer styles into thumbnails in certain cases, and in this case it just is showing a white box. So what you can do is on the drop down select large or small list. That way you see the name, which is a little more descriptive. So in this case we have lightning blue and we have lightning yellow. There's only two colors included in the styles because it's really easy to customize it for your own color, and because blue and yellow are kind of the two colors you think of with lightning anyway. But I will show you how to change the color later on in this video to get whatever you want to match your design. I'm going to show you the main way to use this, the proper way. I'll show you a few ways that are the incorrect ways of doing this as well, just so you know what to avoid. And first thing is when you zoom all the way in and then you select a brush, if the size of the brush is greater than the display on your Photoshop window, you'll get a crosshair and you won't see the actual brush. You'll get that as well as if you have your caps lock on, but if you don't have your caps lock on and you see this crosshair, it's because the brush is too big. So if you zoom out and then you see the brush is now smaller than the Photoshop window, it will show. Kind of an annoying Photoshop thing, but just is what it is. So I'm first going to show you what not to do, and that is generally you don't want to paint directly into your graphics layer or your background. So for example, if I click here, you see I've added lightning, but now I can't move that lightning around because it's on the background. So the obvious thing to do here is just make a new layer, and then for instance I now paint the lightning in the layer. I can move that around as well. But now there is something else too. You see where this is now cut off. Photoshop by default will just cut off the canvas and it won't paint beyond that. So there's a few tricks with that. I'll show my favorite method for this later on in the video. I don't want to start off with that, but one method you can do is first size the brush to about the size you want, and then you might want to even come a little bit lower when you click. That way it does give you more room to move it around before it's cut off. And like I say, I do have a different method I'll show near the end of this video for that I really like, that involves canvas size and smart objects, but like I said, I don't want to start with that. So you see we've got our lightning here, but it's pure white. I'll show you the next thing that I think people get wrong, and it's how do you get color into something like a lightning strike. So the thing not to do is to come into here and try to select a color. So like say for example, we think lightning should have kind of a blue tint to it. So yes, this does give us color to the lightning, but it doesn't look right because in a real photograph you'd expect the lightning strike itself to be typically pure white with the color glowing around that, and this really doesn't do that. So instead, what you want to do is generally you paint with a solid white brush. And then we'll add the layer style. So let's go into that same lightning strike. Actually, let me put this a little bit lower so we can move it around. And then with the layer selected, you'll just click on the layer style you want. So I'll click lightning blue. Now the effect is kind of subtle here, but if I uncheck the effect and check it on, you see it does add just kind of a blue glow around that. But if we go into the layer style by double clicking on the effects, we can turn up the opacity of the outer glow. Let me zoom out here. You see the more I turn that up, the more we have that glow color around that. And then one other thing too is this comes with the linear dodge blend mode by default. You can also set that to screen at times too. You see the effect is a little bit different. It's a little more subtle. By default, I like linear dodge better for lightning in most situations. On a darker sky, screen and dodge will do the same thing. But if you get to where the sky is a little bit brighter, like down here, for example, sometimes linear dodge will make the color look a little more unnatural, and sometimes you want to use screen. But for the most part, linear dodge is what these come with, and I suggest using that. And then if you just click on the color, keep this at 100% saturation, 100% brightness, and you just change the hue of that, and you can make the hue whatever you want. So you could turn the opacity down and just mix in whatever hue you want. In this case, kind of a yellow lightning on a blue sky. But you can do whatever you want for your digital design. Another thing too, change this just a little bit here. Let's go back to actually blue. I think I'm going to use that. Okay, another thing you can do is if you want more glow, is take the lightning strike and just keeping the mouse in the same position, you can stamp it on twice. And if you see you accidentally move the mouse, then undo it and redo it like I did there. But see, there's one click and then there's 2 clicks. It gives you a little bit brighter glow around the lightning. Let me undo that. Here, let's I'm going to show you one other trick you can do. If you just click it once, you could duplicate that layer. So Control J. Now I've got 2 layers, but in this case you don't want to double up on the effect. So I'll throw the effect away for one layer. Can make a folder or a group here. And then you can move the effect to the group. That way you've got 2 of these in the same group, so you can choose to use it with or without the second, or you can turn the opacity down of the second and fine tune how much glow is in that layer. And then you can still, on your layer style, go into there and change that as you need as well. Now I'll show you one more trick that I really like, and this is the one that I said I was going to hold off for the end of the video. Didn't mean to delete everything. That's okay. We'll just make a new layer here. All right, so painting off canvas. By default, Photoshop, like I say, will not allow you to paint off canvas. But what you can do is you can expand your canvas. So first thing is I'm going to make a solid black layer, or a solid color layer anyway. This is optional, but I just like to do that. So what we have now is we have a solid color layer, our background, and then our lightning layer. And then let's go to canvas size. I'll just hit ×2 here. That's a slick trick in Photoshop too. You can just use the multiply key ×2. It's going to do the math for you. So now I've expanded the canvas. So now we can use these brushes so if you click on any brush, it's going to reset the size back to the full 5,000 pixels because these brushes are full size. So now you see that this allows us to paint off the canvas. And if I right click and hit convert to smart object, what that does is that makes this now non-destructive. So even if I resize that really small, I can go back up to any size and I didn't destroy the quality because it's inside a smart object. And if you ever want to reset that at any time, if you right click and hit reset transform, it sets it back to the original size that it was applied at. For example, let me size it smaller. So you can see that if I hit reset transform, you see that puts it back now at the typical or the default size we sized it at. All right, so now to get your canvas back to the regular size, if you go back to canvas size, remember we multiplied by 2. So if we just hit divide by 2 here, it'll say, yeah, we're going to crop, no worries, proceed. All right, so now we've got our lightning in here, but it's now in a smart object and it's not cropped. You see we still have all of the content that was above or below the canvas, and we still have this in a smart object. So in a smart object, we could move or scale that into place as we want. Actually, maybe like it going the other way. I don't know, something like that maybe. It's up to you for however you want to apply the lightning. Okay. Now that we've got that in a smart object, I wanted to make sure I didn't actually put the layer style in there, which I don't. If you double click on a smart object, you can go into that. But now you can also apply that layer style directly to your smart object. I gotta click on the layer. Yeah, hold on here, we'll get it. So you can select either one you want, and you see we're applying that layer style. And we still have full control over that layer style, even on the smart object. So now we've got our blue lightning streaking across the sky at an angle. Pretty awesome. And you can mix and match the brushes together as well. So if you go into our brushes window, let me find another one I like. And then usually, if you're going to do multiple lightning strikes, it's often a good idea to put them as separate layers. That way they're not smashed together. something like this in the background. Now I could put this on as a smart object as well, but I'm not going to go through all that just for the video here because you already see, oops, I'm making all kinds of Control Z mistakes here. That's okay. We'll just continue on. Maybe some more lightning faded away in the background here. And then if you want to copy a layer style from one to the other, if you right click and hit copy layer style, and go up to the other lightning layer, paste layer style. You see now we've got our layer style, that blue glow to this lightning in the background. You could also put both of these lightning layers in a new group. And then only use one global layer style to apply to all of your lightning. You see now we've got one layer style that controlled both of those. Anyway, we probably could have done a little bit better with the aesthetics and the design here, but that's okay. I think you understand the point of how to use these. So these are super versatile. There's 24 different brushes in this set, and they go really well for a lot of these type of outdoor dramatic scenes. Anyways, thanks for watching.